Hello Sagittarius, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the 2022 eclipse season for the sign of Sagittarius. So do keep in mind that this is a tarot reading, it is not an astrology reading. So if you are looking for more specific astrological messages, I would suggest consulting an astrologer or checking out videos that are available on YouTube about this eclipse season. So the way that this works is we have 4 eclipses in the year of 2022. The first one is starting here on April 30th, and the second one starts on May 16th. The eclipses this year are in Taurus and Scorpio, and so what happens is the energies span over the course of 6 months. The energies starting here from April 30th and May 16th go until the next series of eclipses, which are on October 25th and November 8th. Okay, and so the point being is these are longer term changes, these are deeper changes. This is not day-to-day, week-to-week type of energy. These are big changes that happen around the eclipses. All right, so do keep that in mind. I will have a full schedule of the eclipses in the description below, as well as all of the tarot decks that I use in this reading. But just keep in mind that I will not send you a message. So if you do get a message from somebody, they are impersonating me and trying to scam you, please do not get scammed. I also have an Instagram, so feel free to check out my Instagram. It is linked below. But let me make sure everything is in view here. And all right, we're also going to take a few of these astrology cards as we are doing an eclipse reading. We'll take a few of these oracle messages, and then we'll also take a few of these fortune cookie cards. So, all right, energy on the bottom, you have the King of Cups. So Sagittarius, King of Cups is this is somebody who really leads from the heart space. You may be pressed or challenged a little bit here in the next 6 months emotionally. And that's not always a bad thing, but what I like about that for you, or what I like about this for you, is that you have the tools to sit in this situation. You have the tools to work through any potential emotional situations that are happening here between now and the next 6 months. Because as you can see, this king is sitting in water. And remember, it doesn't matter what gender you are, you can take on the aspect of any of these cards in the tarot. And so I definitely like that for you. Some of you could be also stepping into a role of emotional leadership. Maybe you are rallying the troops in your family. Maybe you are having heart-to-heart conversations with your significant others. Maybe you are kind of taking on a more gentle type of communication style or leadership style in the workplace as well. To get the King of Cups on the bottom. So I definitely like to see that for you. Now, in the overall message here, you do have this Ten of Swords. So, undeniably there is an ending that you may be dealing with right now, or that may be happening over the next 6 months. Now, with this Ten of Swords, it is a good idea. It is one of these things that I like to say. It really depends on if you are a glass half full or a glass half empty type of person when you look at the Ten of Swords, because yeah, it's an ending, right? But the Ten of Swords is also an opportunity to release yourself from whatever is no longer working for you. And it also says that there is new hope on the horizon. And also remember that at some point the worst will be behind you. Okay, the worst will be behind you when you have the Ten of Swords. It's harder to find a more challenging card than the Ten of Swords, and so do keep in mind that while change and endings are difficult, it also says that there are better times ahead for you. There is new hope on the horizon when you get the Ten of Swords. So just keep that in mind, and that is certainly the case here because you do have the Sun energy in the future. You have a nice diagonal here flanking the Ten of Swords with the Chariot and the Sun. Now, in the past, you have the Chariot, the Two of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. So some of you maybe have spent time traveling. Some of you maybe have spent a lot of time in your vehicle or in your car. But if that is not the case, some of you have been, pretty victorious here recently, or you've been spending time thinking, as this upper row is the row of your thoughts, the row of your mind, what is on your mind. You've been thinking about the ways that you can be victorious in your life, or you've been thinking about maybe themes around self-discipline as well, because that is the one thing about the Chariot. Chariot has self-discipline, and as they do exhibit that trait, they are given big victories. The other thing about the Chariot, it does indicate overcoming external obstacles. And so, some of you may be dealing with an ending right now, because the Ten of Swords, it's your overall message, but it's also in the current situation column here. And so some of you may be dealing with challenging energies right now around an ending, but you have exceeded, all right? You have excelled in working through this ending, with the Chariot showing up here in the past. You do have this Two of Wands. You can see that this person has a choice to make between their paths, and they either need to go into a period of research to decide on which path to go down, or they just need to decide. The worst thing that this Two of Wands person could do is stand at the fork in the road, right? They're at the fork in the road. The worst thing that they could do is spend all of their time at the fork in the road. They need to go down a path and decide where to go. Some of you have been spending time recently deciding on what path is best for you. You do have this Queen of Wands as well. You've made the right choice. You've made the choice that is in alignment with you. If you are following the Queen of Wands energy, the Queen of Wands can literally attract whatever it is that they want into their life, as long as they are being their most authentic self. Okay? If they are trying to be somebody else, the path that they will take will be wrong. Period. Okay? If the Queen of Wands is being the highest version of themselves, if they are acting in accordance with their soul and their guidance, they can attract amazing things into their life. By the way, this Queen of Wands can also refer to you, Sagittarius, as a fire sign. Same with the Knight of Wands. And so it could mean that you've been just putting yourself first here. You've been overcoming the obstacles that have been thrown on your path recently. Now, in your current situation, you have the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. So there has been a line in the sand that you've drawn here. As you can see with this person kind of at the finish line here. They may not realize that they are at the finish line, but they are. Some of you have drawn a line in the sand and said, I am going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep charging ahead. And really, for the Nine of Wands, it's important that they do not give up, and that they keep moving forward. They keep moving forward on their journey, because they only have one card to go until they complete the journey of the Wands, which is your suit, right? It's the fire suit. And so for some of you here, you have, instead of giving up, or you're in the middle of right now, instead of giving up, you have continued forward on something maybe work or career related, as Wands is the suit of work and career. You have this Ten of Swords. Okay, there has been an ending here. We've talked about how this can be an ending, but it can also say that there's new hope available, especially as you have the Sun here diagonal, which diagonals in this spread are directions that you are headed. And so the future does look bright for you. I do have to say, we're going to talk about the future more in a second, but obviously there's been maybe a challenge here that you're dealing with now, or you will be dealing with, but in the next 6 months. But again, it's like one card never makes a reading, and in fact, this is really the only challenge that you have. Yeah, taking a look here, this is really the only challenge that you have, and so keep that in mind. Now, you have this Knight of Wands as well. This is moving. Okay, some of you may have moved location, moved zip code, or you may have moved recently, or you may actually have a relocation, because you do have the Chariot as well, which is a card of travel. The Knight of Wands is the biggest card indicating a change in zip code or a change in location. Some of you may have already done that, or some of you may be doing that here in the next 6 months. Now, in the future, you have the Four of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Sun. So I'm going to start with the Sun, because the Sun is the best card to find in the tarot. I love that the Ten of Swords is flanked by the Chariot and the Sun. This represents total happiness, victory, success, and good times ahead for you in a future position. The sun is a total message of positivity. It can also say that there is some sort of truth coming to light. The ray of the sun will expose anything in your life that is untruthful or not true. And so some of you are stepping into a serious truth here in the future over the next 6 months. Some of you are also stepping into a seriously happy period of time for you. This could involve changes in finances, and I would say that they are positive because they are also met with the sun below it. This is somebody who's like juggling their wealth. This can represent changes in juggling or fluctuating wealth, fluctuations in wealth, gain, positive, gains, losses in wealth. It really can go either way. But for you, the fact that you have it with the sun, to me, is more about positive changes here in money, positive developments in your financial situation, especially because this is in the future here. The Ten of Swords, it seems like the worst is behind many of you. And yeah, because not only that, but because you also have this Four of Swords with it here, which is a period of rest, recovery. And for some of you, this Ten of Swords feels like heartbreak. Okay, and remember, that's not just relationship related. Heartbreak can be anything. It could be the end of a friendship. It could be the end of a situation with a family member or something like that here. And it's almost like for some of you over the next 6 months, you're really truly finding healing around a heartbreaking situation as you have that Ten of Swords with the Four of Swords in the middle, and again, in a diagonal formation here, which is really nice because it's a direction that you're headed. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these oracle cards here. Wow, so you have Pisces, Jupiter, and Capricorn. So you are ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius. Jupiter brings expansion, it brings good luck, it brings good fortune, it brings abundance into your life. It's also higher knowledge, higher learning, and I definitely like to see that for you. Pisces energy here as well, and Capricorn. You could be either dealing with the themes around those energies, or you could also be meeting people who have those placements. Let's see what this card is, Taurus, which is interesting because if I have not already said that, the eclipses are in Scorpio and Taurus. And so let me see here. So for some of you, the solar eclipses, no, I'm sorry. For some of you, this April 30th is a solar eclipse in Taurus, and November 8th is a lunar eclipse in Taurus. So April 30th and November 8th, those may be important dates for you, but I also think, because those are the eclipses in Taurus, and so yeah, that's just something that's coming to mind here. But I also think that some of you are maybe dealing with the earthly side of life. You're maybe dealing with getting your schedules together, getting your routines together, getting your habits together. I think some of you maybe even also starting a exercise routine as well. Here you have Seer. See beyond the current situation, Water Guardian, connect with your emotions, and Stargazer, set your sights higher. Okay, time to shoot for the moon here, especially as you have the Jupiter energy. Jupiter is about going big, okay? It's grandiose energy, okay? Jupiter doesn't do anything small, okay? You know that, Sagittarius. Of all people, you know that, okay? I am a Sagittarius rising, and I know what that is like. Set your sights higher, shoot for the stars here. There is something around connecting with your emotions, as well as you have that King of Cups energy as well here. So you have friendship. A friend needs your help, your kindness, and excellent counseling skills will put them on track. So some of you meeting new friends for sure here. You have positive work outcomes. Consistent efforts will bring rewards, and a major purchase is worth making. So this has been something that's coming in, which is just cross your T's, dot your I's around any big purchase over the next 6 months. I don't think it's bad, but I also think it's important that you know exactly what you're signing off on. Then you also have this sexuality card. Existing relationships could find a new passion and heightened sexual attraction. Opportunities for marriage and good family life are strong, but if single, beware of temptation that could lead to trouble. A child will also bring great joy. Okay, some of you finding new relationships, whether they're friendships or they're sexual relationships or they're romantic relationships or whatever the case may be, whatever they are, there could be new situations happening for you in those areas. Positive work outcomes, I definitely like to see that because you have the Sun and the Two of Pentacles with it over here. Some of you may be looking to expand what you're doing, setting, like this card says, setting your sights higher on something as it relates to money, as it relates to work, as it relates to taking something to the next level with that Jupiter energy here as well. And yeah, I really love this reading. Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next reading.